Plus money. With plus money. Hedging is for gardens. Do I look like a gardener to you? I am a better, I am not a gardener. Hedging is for gardens. How does your garden grow?
With plus money.
With plus money. Hedging is for gardens.
Welcome in everyone to Betting Weekly Live. It is Tuesday, the 30th of September, and it's Champions League day again. You're joined by Steve Wyss and Nigel Seeley. Round 2 of the Champions League this season. Nigel, exciting times.
Very much so. Good to see you. I haven't seen you for a couple of hours, mate. It's nice to see you.
I know, it's been too long.
It's been too long. It's been far too long. I missed you in the last 2 hours. If you hadn't seen, myself and Steve went to see Everton last night against West Ham. Wasn't a great game, but what a great night it was. Fantastic night. And I've come back. Honestly, I've come back and we've had a power cut at home. So the internet's been down. The computer's been down. It's been a bit of a nightmare. So, but I'm glad to be back. Looking forward to it. The Champions League's back and some great fixtures. Not tonight, but tomorrow as well. Some really, really good matches as well. Lots of angles in, and hopefully lots of cash-in tickets for us all.
Yeah, exactly that. I want to welcome everyone in. Do put your best bets in chat today. I know it's going to be pretty busy. Might not be able to read through most of them, but I'll be watching out for all the comments. Where is the lamb sauce? Good to see you. I saw you mention us on X today. Put down your best picks in chat there. Talking Punting says the word legend is overused, but these boys are. Let's smash it.
I'm surprised he's awake.
Villa fan, good to see you as well. Real Brendan King, Charlie DeLucci, and all you guys. Yesterday on the soccer, the biggest bet was a winner in the Premier League, $26,000. Everton West Ham over 0.5 first half goals. I mean, that did well to cash, didn't it? Really, Nigel. It was about the only chance of the whole half. Biggest loser on the sports book was $70,000 in the NFL. Bengals +8 against the Broncos. Broncos blew them away comfortably. So that was, and also a $56,000 loss on the Jets +3 against the Dolphins. So not good times there for the NFL bettors. But as I say, we move on to a brand new week of Champions League soccer. Loads of bets, potential bets on the card today. We start with 2 of the early fixtures. Kairat Almaty against Real Madrid. A long trek here for Real Madrid, Nigel. 4,000 miles they are traveling, 13 hours on a plane. I mean, that shouldn't really be possible in European soccer, should it? So, nevertheless, despite that, Real Madrid are a huge favourite. And there's actually 2 massive favourites on the board today, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. And I don't know about you, Nigel, whenever you've got such a huge favourite in club soccer, my initial feeling is I don't really want to get involved, because at the end of the day, as long as these teams get the 3 points, as far as they're concerned, it's job done. But the travelling distance here the handicap in Real Madrid's nearly -3. I'm not sure I could be taking that when they have travelled so far to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, if you put it into some kind of context, it's like going from London to India. That's the distance they're traveling. So it's an awful long way for them to go. As you say, 13 hours or 12 hours is a long way for people to go. And also they're going on the back of what was their worst result of the season, and probably their worst result for many a season, the embarrassing defeat at the weekend in the Madrid derby. And that is a problem for them. But, there is always a bounce back ability when teams have such a bad defeat. 5-2, obviously, against Atletico Madrid was an awful result. Real Madrid this season have gone about their business okay, but not really setting the world alight. I mean, the match against Marseille was a bit lucky. Obviously, Kylian Mbappe obviously got a couple of penalties in that match, and obviously Kylian Mbappe is going to be a very good bet. Many people like him to score at any time. Last time we were on the show, we bet him to to score 2 or more, and he did last time on the Champions League show. But I got a feeling the travelling, and then got a tough match at the weekend at home to Villarreal, which is a difficult match the way Villarreal are playing here. This is not going to be. This is basically for me a match where Real Madrid just want to go in, get the job done, get the win, and move on. They don't really want to be involved in 4 or 5s. I don't see any reason why they want to cover 2.75. And I think Almaty plus 2.75 or plus 3 on the Asian handicap with Bet Rivers is probably a decent bet if you can get the push as well. I think Almaty as well. The way that Real Madrid defend, I think they're vulnerable for goals as well here. I mean, if you look at them, I mean, they conceded against Levante 4-1, 5 goals against Bilbao, 2-1 at the Bernabeu against Marseille. They've got a goal leak in them. But obviously, Getafe, Almaty, the last time they played, was an embarrassing defeat in Sporting Lisbon 4-1. But they did get on the score sheet here. I'm looking at ways to boost the Real Madrid price. I think they're going to win. Plus 2.75 Almaty and the Asian handicap 2 and 3/4 goals, I think is a decent way. But I do think Real Madrid win this. I'm trying to find a way to get with them and try to boost the price up. I wouldn't be betting Real Madrid to win to 0 because I do think they're vulnerable defensively. I quite like Real Madrid and both teams to score, which is coming in at almost 2-1. That is an angle for me. But I think the best angle here is Real Madrid to win and Mbappe to score. Mbappe is just on fire. 8 goals already this season in 7 appearances in La Liga, 2 goals in the Champions League. I think I've said before on the show, I think he's now found a system that you're getting the best out of him. I think he's got goals in him. And I think he's obviously on penalties as well, 2 penalties in the last match. And now Matty will probably defend their lives and give away a lot of penalties and corner kicks and free kicks and all around the edge of the box. And I think Mbappe to score and Real Madrid to win would probably be the angle I'm looking to boost that price up. But I don't think it's going to be 2.75. I can see 2-0, 2-1, that kind of match. And I'm going to go for a lean, Mbappe to score and Real Madrid to win.
Whereas the Lamb Source says here that Kairat have covered the plus 3.5 in their last 50 games. Incredible stat, actually. Obviously, this is a significant rise in opposition, but I'm not getting involved in this game. There is a $30,000 bet has been placed on over 3.5 goals at minus 147. Not sure I like that, to be honest. It's the sort of game where Real Madrid could easily just get the result they need, like you said, and move on. Kairat are plus 116 to score a goal in the game, and for them, that would probably be a success. I mean, they scored against Sporting. They really like that. They'd love to get a goal against Real Madrid at home. The betting splits are incredible here. I don't think I've ever seen this on a match, even an international match. 99% of the money is on Real Madrid. 99% of the tickets are on Real Madrid. Let us know if you are in that 1% club out there betting on Kairat in any form whatsoever.
The last time we saw betting splits like that was 99.9% on the first person to bed market last night with me, you, Simon Olden. It was all Simon Olden, and it cashed.
It cashed. Yeah, absolutely did. I'm just looking through some of the other comments here. Vancouver Canuck. Games like this, why not leave the big stars at home and play your reserves? You do have to be a little bit careful for squad rotation. Like Nigel said, this is a bit of a sandwich for Real Madrid in between 2 tough games. And this is the easier one. So you might not get the certain player minutes that you don't want if you're playing the prop markets. I don't think it's a match to get heavily involved in. That's what I will say. But I do know from the chat that some of you are liking what you see. The other early fixture on the board is Atalanta against Club Brugge. I mean, this is a Club Brugge side who were very, very impressive against Monaco in game week 1. Comfortable win. Since then, or around the same period, a 5-5 draw. You don't see those very often, Nigel. And I think this surely sees the direction that the style that Club Brugge have this season. It's gung-ho. There's a lot of goals involved. And immediately I'm attracted to the goal line of over 3 Asian here. There's a couple of probably better bets I think I've got on the card today, but I can't really make a case for the under with Club Brugge at the moment. Atalanta have improved their goal scoring of late. I actually got done with an over them against Juventus at the weekend, the dreaded 1-1 draw. And their manager still does worry me a little bit, Ivan Juric. But you can't deny on paper they've still got a lot of weapons. So I would have quite a strong lean to the Asian goal line of over 3 in this game at -121. This might even go down as my third best bet of the day, to be honest, because we know what we're going to get with Club Brugge, I think.
They're very entertaining side, loads of goals. There may be a little bit of a rebase on the Belgian league, actually. The Belgian league these two clubs, Club Brugge and Union, might be a couple of teams that we may have to rethink how we think about the Belgian league. Obviously, they absolutely blitz Rangers over 2 matches. I know it's a poor Rangers side, but the manner of that win 6-0 over in Belgium and the 3-1 win over in Glasgow is a big win. I mean, especially, however bad Rangers are at the moment, to go over to Glasgow and get a win is a tough thing to do. And they've done it, and to win 9-1 in aggregate is tremendous. I think there's a couple of things I like about it. I do love the goal angle. I think the goals is a great bet. I prefer going over 2.5 goals on both teams to score. I think I'd parlay that up. That plays around about -125 with Bet Rivers. I think that would be the better for three goals. I always worry about 3 goals on the over, because obviously it's such a big number. 2.5, you get the 3, you cash. 3, you get the push. So I'd probably be looking to, but I agree with you on the goals front. I think over 2.5 goals on both teams to score is the angle here. I also think Club Brugge have got a bit of a chance. I think they've got a good chance in this, but at the weekend they have Union in a massive match in Belgium. Obviously, they're some way adrift in second place in the domestic league, and that match is huge, and they've got to win that match. So that will probably be on their minds a little bit in this fixture here. I think Atalanta will probably win. I'm looking like 3-1, 2-1, but I do think both teams will score, and I do like goals. So if we go on the goals thing, over 2.5 and both teams to score, -125, that's the way I'm going.
Yeah, I think it's the sort of game where there should be quite a few goals involved. Someone's asking me, what do I think about the actual match lines? Will I take Club Brugge on the +0.5 goal? Gun to my head, yes, I would, because I don't trust Atalanta. Foxy's right. I'm not a fan of the manager, Juric, but they have improved recently. There's no doubt about it. And you can sense when the team is starting to get on the rise again. But this Club Brugge side, I think, are pretty good. Tariq Imer, thanks very much. I hope you did get on your garden yesterday, by the way. 8-2 win, best bet of the day. I would 8 to be serious last night. Thought I'd get that one in. But you actually got me thinking there is no Swedish games today apart from like 3rd division, 2nd division. So it's just Champions League today, Tariq. So follow the plays in that one. And the later fixtures, Nigel, there's loads of action going on. Actually, just going to give you a betting split on this game first. 95% of the money is on the over, by the way. So if you are following the money, then the over is the way to go in the Atalanta Club Brugge game. Let's go to...
Just before we leave it, Steve, sorry, mate. I just wanted to say, obviously, we're going to come back. Those matches obviously kick off early. And I'm just going to say that the Atalanta Club Brugge over 2.5 goals and both teams to score would be one of my strongest bets of the night. I think that's definitely going. The 3 goals that Steve has touched on there is a decent bet. I think there's goals in it. And Real Madrid, before we leave Real Madrid, what do you think of Mbappe and Real Madrid to score? Do you quite like that way of thinking?
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, because at the end of the day, there's lots of different types of bets that we need, and that's a safe play. Mbappe's hungry. He is really, really hungry we know he loves to stat pad. We know he wants to win every award going, possibly. He wants all the striker talk at the minute, about Isaac and Gyökeres and all that, Haaland. He wants to put himself back in the top stool of that. So, and he's one of the players, actually, he won't come off the field until he scored a goal. Do you know where I'm coming from? So,
yeah. Well, let me just say you one thing. I'm looking here at the parlay. So Real Madrid to win on the money line and Mbappe to score any time pays -335. So the way the BetRivers algorithm works out, obviously Real Madrid are -1200 to win the match. So they're like, it gives you -335. But Mbappe to score any time when it's over is -275. So just bet Mbappe to score any time -275 rather than moaning about, because you get a bigger price on Mbappe to score any time than put it in the parlay. So it's one of those, when you get really short favourites and the algorithm on the bet builder or the same game parlay doesn't work. So it's better off to bet him. But I quite like him to score 2 or more as well, to boost that up. But I think Real Madrid will win and Mbappe to score. But I wouldn't be rushing to bet Real Madrid to cover that spread.
Yeah, it's one of those where there's a little bit of a spanner in the works of the algorithms, which can sometimes happen. You've got to check that sometimes, especially if prices move very, very quickly in certain markets. Those are the early kickoffs, like we said. 5:45 UK time. That's 12:45 Eastern for those two games. We now move on to the 3 p.m. Eastern kickoffs, and we've got 7 of them today, I do believe. Wow, the games are really coming thick and fast, aren't they? Right, let's start off with a match, Marseille against Ajax, and I think it's another tough one actually here. If I was to bet anything on the game, it would be on the Asian total goals, the 3 line again. My issue with Marseille is they've just come off the back of 2 incredibly emotional wins, beating PSG 1-0, the biggest rivals. Just a few days later, they scored in the last kick of the game to beat Strasbourg, which is a big win and a really important win for them. And the manager, Roberto De Zerbi, has kept saying, the boys have got to keep going. They've got to keep digging out these performances. But they might, at some point, Marseille, I think, are going to have a flat performance. I just hope it doesn't cost them a result. Whether it comes today, I'm not entirely sure. We know the Dutch teams have generally, not exactly covered themselves in glory, Nigel, in the Champions League so far. So this is one of those games where I think if Marseille were absolutely, full prep, I'd maybe jump in quite hard on them on a handicap maybe. As it happens, I think the lean would have to be over 3 Asian goals.
Yeah, over 3. I mean, over 3.5 is plus 138. I mean, that's a high number, plus 138. As you say, Marseille have played some big matches in back. And you mentioned those 2 domestic matches. You got to remember that they pushed Real Madrid really, really close in the Bernabeu as well. I mean, that was a huge match for them as well. I think that Ajax are obviously a side that aren't the Ajax of teams of years gone by. The Dutch league is not a great league, and they've been pretty inconsistent. If you look at their form this season, on the road, they've drawn every single one of their matches domestically. They've won all their home matches, but on the road, they've been dropping points against teams that they should have won and pretty poor. In the last Champions League match, they were beat very, very comfortably 2-0 by Inter Milan. I know it's a good Inter Milan side, but I think Ajax are a side that's are on the backward curve at the moment. The Dutch league, as I say, if you look at ratings around European football, I don't think the Dutch league would be anywhere near as high, as strong as they are. Talks about Belgian leagues. I think the Belgian league is going up and Ajax are a side definitely going down. But Marseille are minus 240. I think they are minus 240. You're a braver man than me to back Marseille at minus 240. I think they probably will win it. Maybe a win and both teams to score again to boost up that kind of stuff, because both of them defensively are vulnerable. But out of all the matches today, I think this is one of the ones that I've got no bet actually on. But if I was pushed, both teams to score and Marseille to win, but there's much better option out there than these two, than anything involved in this match.
Yeah, I do agree. And Marseille at minus 240. They've got a really poor Champions League record in the past. I know they played well against Real Madrid, and this is a completely different Marseille now. But I daren't even look at the exact stats, Nigel. They're that bad in the Champions League.
How would you rate the Dutch league now to sort of the Belgian league? I mean, we talk about leagues. I mean, I know the Club Brugge and Union have done really well in the Champions League. I would probably argue that they're stronger than this side, but Ajax are probably being priced up a little bit more on reputation and history than what they're currently showing at the moment. Yeah,
I think at the moment the Belgian league is showing a lot of improvements in that way. I would say it's on par with it, if not a bit higher. This is something I'll ask Will White this tomorrow. I'll be interested to see where in his rankings he has these sort of sides. I mean, Jan Philipp, we know he's a big Ajax fan. He says put the house on Marseille handicap. He's not expecting anything from Ajax. And those results, like you mentioned, perhaps we would expect that. That is why 92% of the money is on Marseille in the game. 87% of the tickets, 85% of the money on the over. And this is the stat. This is from producer Troy. Marseille have lost 19 of their last 22 Champions League games.
Wow.
That's just an absurd statistic.
And you got a bet of a minus 240.
Yeah. This weird things happen. Things go wrong for Marseille in Champions League. I just got a feeling the club is back on the up again, though, and they get the result here. But it might be one of those. They just sneak over the line, win by 1 goal or something. Like you said, I think there's better bets on the cards today. Let's go to London now. And this is, I think, a really spicy game. Massive massive storyline in the backdrop to this one. Chelsea against Benfica, -157 favourites on Chelsea. Benfica +430. Tie at +295. Now, when the Champions League fixtures came out, I think we looked at this one and thought kind of run-of-the-mill game, decent sort of fixture, nothing special. Probably Chelsea 1-0 or 2-0 against Bruno Lage. And now we've got Jose Mourinho, the special one, comes back to town for this fixture. And, I just think there's going to be all sorts of shenanigans going on, Nigel. He's a hero still at Chelsea, isn't he, though?
Yeah, he is. But I looked at his record against Chelsea when he's been an opposition manager. He's played 14 times, 5 wins for Mourinho, 7 wins for Chelsea, and 2 draws in that period. So he hasn't got the better of it when he's gone to Chelsea. I think this is a Chelsea side that are under pressure. I really do. Maresco is a manager that I think is under huge pressure at this moment in time. They have Liverpool at home at the weekend, which is a massive match. They've only won 1 in their last 5 matches, and that was against Lincoln in the League Cup. And they were quite lucky. They were 1-0 behind in that match. They were quite lucky. There was a bad performance. They're conceding goals. If you look at their goal XG on the amount of chance they give up a lot of goals. Their last 5 matches have seen both teams score, and this one here is a big match for both clubs. Chelsea needs to win it because they got beat 3-1 by Bayern Munich in the opener in this Europa League, and Benfica needs to win it as well because they got off to a poor start in their Europa League. It's losing Karabakh in that crazy match where that was the end of the manager, racing into a 2-0 lead and then come back 3-2. I was betting Benfica -2 goals, and they threw it away. So this is a big match. Now throw out the Mourinho factor, which is a factor, but this is a big match. Neither team can really afford to lose this. I'm looking unders. There's a lot of matches I quite like in this set of fixture for overs, but this match here I think could be quite tense, nervy. And under 2.5 goals is +120. Mourinho will set out to be messy, destructive, hard to beat. That's the way I think. Chelsea without Cole Palmer, they're not the same team without him. He is Chelsea Football Club at this moment in time. He's their best player. Without him, I don't think they offer the same from an offensive point of view. So I think this might be quite low scoring, cagey. A lot of games I like goals, but I don't like goals in this one. So I'm going under 2.5 goals here at +120.
I think that's a fair enough call, to be honest with you. I think someone's mentioned cards there. We're not advising cards tips too often on this show now, but I think it could be a really bitty game with a lot of fouls and stop-start. Atmosphere will be charged. Mourinho will be desperate to get a result.
He will get a brilliant reception there as well. I mean, he's loved by Chelsea fans. They love him more than they do their own manager at this moment in time. So it's not like he's going into the cauldron. He's going to get a bad reception. He's going to be loved, and he'll thrive off that. But Mourinho is a very negative manager by the way he sets his teams out, and nothing's really changed. He makes it hard. He has a game plan, and Chelsea at this moment in time, to me, just look a very average side. The two sides obviously played in the World Club Championship, didn't they, as well? It was a 4-1 win for Chelsea. But anybody who's losing that as a form guide thinks it's going to be loads of goals. I don't buy that. Chelsea needs something from this match. It's a massive match for Maresco. It's a huge match. And at Chelsea, and then you've got Liverpool at the weekend. If he loses to Liverpool at the weekend and he loses this one, Maresco could be under some big pressure. Well, I think he's under pressure anyway, but I think he's going to be under huge pressure if he doesn't win here.
Well, he's the 5th favourite to be next Premier League manager to be sacked.
Who's ahead of him?
Well, the 4 ahead of him.
Amarin?
Yeah, he's the favourite. Ange Postecoglou's the 2nd favourite.
Already?
Unai Emery, 3rd favourite. Keith Andrews.
Well, he should be clear. He should be clear 2nd favourite. What price did he go then?
Well, this is not. There's only one book I can see out there even offering odds at the minute, but he's 12-1.
That might be worth a little bet, though, because Liverpool lose this, do not win this, lose against Liverpool at the weekend, and you're giving up. I think the title will be over if you lose against Liverpool at the weekend, and that's a big price, 12-1.
It's been a difficult market to price up for the books this year because Graham Potter's only just gone 2 days ago, so there's a lot of odds makers out there wondering which direction this market should go. And it's a really popular betting market. I'm sure come the end of the week, everywhere's going to be priced up. I tell you what, Benfica +1 Asian goal at -130 is what I like here. I don't think Chelsea will win this match by 2 or more goals. I think it'll be a tight contest in general. I mean, there's some saying...
If you take the goal input out of Cole Palmer from this Chelsea side, I mean, João Pedro doesn't look the same player when Cole Palmer there. The way they worked in the World Club Championships, they worked off each other and they created lots of chances without his threat from assisting and also scoring goals. I think it's very, very hard to find. You know, Nicholas Jackson as well. I don't think they offer much as an attacking threat, Chelsea.
Just bottle up João Pedro. And I think Benfica are in business. Mourinho, the one thing he's really, really good at is producing defensive game plans and taking certain players out of the game. That's what he'll do. He'll have a plan in here. I know he's not been at the club that long, as a few of you are saying, and Benfica haven't been that great this year. But for Mourinho, it's a huge game. And I think it could be really tight. I'm not even ruling out the 0-0 here.
Yeah, for a one-off match, he will have that team set up. But when you can bet your bottom dollar, the start when he took this job, he looked at this match and thought, I fancy this.
93% of the money is on Chelsea. 88% of the money is on the over. I think that's wrong. I think that's not the right direction to be going in. I think you look at the name of Chelsea and you think, oh, get on Chelsea, get on overs. I think that's the wrong thing to do in this game. It's a reputational thing. Okay, then let's go to another Premier League team. Galatasaray are in action against Liverpool. -175 favourites on Liverpool, who've just lost for the first time this season against Crystal Palace. Late goal. But I think it was coming, Nigel, wasn't it? You've mentioned that on the Premier League show. Their luck couldn't keep running out forever. This Liverpool team has got a lot of goals in it, but I think they can be got at. I really do like the goals here. Best bet of the day for me. Just deciding which line to get on. And Galatasaray surely have got to believe they've got a chance to score at least a goal or two against this team.
Well, I mean, Galatasaray was always one of the most, we joke about tough places to go. Going to Galatasaray always was like the dreaded European Champions League. So you don't want to be going to Turkey. Well, it's become a little bit of a weak place to go, really, over the years. It's sort of like lost its this scare factor. It's always like a scare factor. Let's go to Galatasaray. Now it's not so bad. And also talking about leagues that you might think of like a rebase. I mean, Galatasaray are just running away with the Turkish league, but as soon as they come onto the big stage in Europa League, absolutely battered by Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1 in their last match. And the way they defended in that match, Liverpool will be rubbing their hands tonight. I think Liverpool could cover the goal line on their own. I really do. But the trouble is Liverpool aren't playing well. And Salah is not playing well at all. Isak still doesn't look fit to me. That is a problem for him. But I think they've got enough about them to go here and win. I think Liverpool will bounce back from that defeat, but their luck is running out after so many last-minute goals. They were lucky against Atletico Madrid in the last match as well, 3-2. They've conceded in their last 5 matches. I think it is in all competitions. I'm sorry, last 4 matches. Conceded against Everton, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Atletico Madrid. Galatasaray will be thinking they'll score. I think Galatasaray will score. But the problem for Galatasaray is I think Liverpool will score at least 3 goals in this match. Liverpool so good going forward, such an attacking threat, whoever they have, even though they're not playing well. And I think that Liverpool will run out fairly comfortable winners here. I like both teams to score, yes, and Liverpool to win the match. That would be where I'm going. I think there's a lot of games where I like goals. I did like the under 2.5 in the Chelsea match, but a lot of games I like goals today. And this one is one of them I like goals as well. I could see a Liverpool 3-1, 4-1 kind of win. Get the job done. Head to Chelsea at the weekend and try to get back the Premier League back on track with a win. So, yep, fairly comfortable. Like goals. Galatasaray concede, and all Liverpool have to do is watch a video of, or do people watch videos anymore? But watch whatever it is, a video or a DVD or whatever they do nowadays of the Eintracht Frankfurt DVD.
I saw some DVDs at Leeds Market today when I was coming back home.
Really?
Yeah, CDs as well, cassettes.
I'm not going back that far, but watch whatever way, streaming, whatever you do, watch the Eintracht Frankfurt game, and the way that Galatasaray defended there, Liverpool should be able to carve their way through this side and score many goals. So both teams to score, yes, Liverpool to win.
Yeah, I'll come to my bet in a minute, but we've just had an incredible comment, actually, from Stephen Hall. We just had a 6.9 earthquake in the Philippines. They're evacuating my building, but I'm staying to listen to this show.
Listen, don't be doing that. No, honestly, get yourself safe. Don't stay and listen to the show. Just make sure you're safe and well.
This earthquake apparently hit 10 minutes ago. And
what have you done there? We made us
don't know what's happened here.
What's happened here? We've gone really big. Is that the earthquake tremor that's made us go big?
Strange has happened here.
What's happened
I don't know. We need help, John. Are you in the background? We need your help here because
there we go. I think it's the earthquake rocking the reception.
Yeah, I can't even blame the cat. She's nowhere near it. So I don't know if I pressed something by mistake, but yeah, get yourself safe, whatever you do.
Be safe.
Yeah, if don't want you building to fall down. But anyone else watching in that part of the world, I hope everything's going okay. That's a big earthquake, nearly 7 on the Richter scale. But anyway, I think over 3.25 Asian goals for me is the best bet of the day. I can't really add too much of what you've said there, Nigel.
But also, though, just joking, we move it. I'm just thinking about Stephen. I mean, what loyalty?
Yeah.
I tell you what, Steve. I work on this show. I love the show. I love the channel. But if there's an earthquake hit my building, you're off, mate. I'm gone. I'm not watching you. No thanks. I'm gone. Stephen, thank you very much for your loyalty, but I'm out of it.
There's commitment and there's commitment.
Yeah. I'm not doing
this is different level commitment from Stephen out there. Get on the goals here, Stephen, and then get out of here. All right.
Yeah.
Over 3.25 goals, I like -136. Look, I know a lot of people are just going to take over 3.5 at -108, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just prefer to have a little bit more security when the goal line's pretty good at -136. Victor Osimhen, I did put him on the graphic there. He played 6 minutes. He's been injured. He played 6 minutes at the weekend. He is the shortest priced Galatasaray player to score. I don't know if he's set to start or not here. Might be asking too much early. But if he is in any sort of form, he will be licking his lips at this Liverpool defence right now, which is giving up chances. But I'm with you. I think Liverpool will simply outscore them. I could see something like 4-1 or 4-2 here, Nigel, actually. Something crazy. Nothing ever changes with Galatasaray fixtures. We may as well stay on the Premier League teams. It's another tough place to go, as we say. So Bodo Glimt in the Arctic Circle. Temperature's quite good, though, this time of year. So not too tricky for Tottenham in that respect. And they used to go in here. They put up a great performance last season in the Europa League semi-final. Did a right good job on Glimt. Quite how anything... it'd be interesting to see how the dynamics change with it being a Champions League group game, Nigel. Plus 230 on Bodo Glimt, which based on their home record in Europe, is big. They have had some problems against Premier League teams before, though. It's the one league that Glimt do have issues with. Arsenal have come up here and won before as well. Tottenham at plus 104. Different manager this season. Will it be a different result?
I think Tottenham will win this. I think a little bit bigger than even money is a decent price. Artificial pitch. The first thing you look at this match, and the first thing I got drawn to straight away is goals. I know you're probably much better off to tell me about Bodo Glimt than I am, but I'm interested to see your thoughts because I was looking at every time I bring the ladder out, I fall off the ladder on the first rung. It goes crashing down. But I was bringing the ladder out in this match on the goals. Would I be right or wrong to do that, Steve?
I don't think you'd be wrong to do it because you would never be looking at under goals in the Bodo Glimt games. You'd be looking higher rather than lower. I mean, it's interesting. I've read some of the press conferences and thoughts from the Bodo players and managers before the game, and they thought the biggest issue they had with Tottenham last year was the sheer physicality of the Premier League players, and they said they've got to counteract that better this time. It kind of reminded me what Florian Wirtz said in an interview recently. He said he might have struggled a little bit at the start because he hasn't got as much time on the ball to make his pass, and I think some of the teams. Bodo Glimt definitely fell into that trap against Spurs last season. So it'd be interesting to see if they've learned their lesson. They are well coached. Do you know what? I think they can give it a good shot here. It's the first home game for them in the Champions League group stage ever. So this is a huge occasion. And we know if Tottenham aren't coming here with the right attitude, they could get done over. So this could be the sort of match where, then get a result. The goal line, over 2.5 is at -157. I expected that to be a bit shorter, I can see why you tempted it. Over 3.5 goals is plus 163, and the 4.5 goal lines at plus 390. with Thomas Frank, he does have a history. I think he's feast or famine, Thomas Frank matches. You get the boring 1-0s, and this goes back to the Brentford days as well. Or you get these crazy games, which like 4-3, 4-2. So he's all or nothing, isn't he? Maybe this is the sort of game it does explode.
They were poor, though, at the weekend against Wolves, weren't they? And also, I've spoken about it on Betting Weekly Saturday Live. If anyone's watched the show on Saturday, Tottenham, every Saturday, there's a negative towards them in the betting market. The Far East market doesn't like Tottenham. There's a negative towards them. So there may be a negative continuing today. Obviously, they're still without Solanke. They're still without, some Kulichevsky, Madison. They've got players in there. You've got Brendan Johnson coming back to some form. Carlson's back in the team. But they're still without a lot of their players. And I think they're a side that when they get those players back, if they can keep themselves in the shake-up and do in the Champions League shake-up as well, they'll be okay. Very lucky in the last time as well to beat Villarreal 1-0. It was very unlike Tottenham performance in that match. Got an early goal, sat back, defended well, which you would never expect from a Tottenham side before. And obviously, Bodo Glimt had that 2-2 draw against Slavia Prague, which was another the highest goal-scoring match. 5-0 against Sturm Graz, 2-1 against Sturm Graz in the match before that as well. I think goals. I actually going to go for both teams to score yes and over 2.5 goals. And if you parlay that up, you get bigger than even money. It's about plus 110. That's where I'm going to. I wouldn't be betting Tottenham to win to 0 because Tottenham don't make things easy for themselves. And when they've been quite heavy favourites this season at home to Bournemouth and at the weekend against Wolves, they've lost. But on the road, very strong. I think they're unbeaten. Their road form this season is much better than their home form. If you look at them, they should have beaten Paris Saint-Germain, went to Man City 1-2-0, went to West Ham 1-3-0, 2-2 draw against Brighton as well. Better team on the road, better team when you're not expecting anything from them. A team that Tottenham, I think they're a side that when they're minus 225, minus 250 at home to favour, I wouldn't trust them. But I got a feeling that the fact that they beat them fairly comfortably last season on a plastic pitch, they know exactly what to do. They've been there before. It's not intimidating for them. And I think they'll win it. But I'm going to go for goals. The goal angle for me, over 2.5 goals and both teams to score, yes. And it's minus 110, I think. I
mean, you're liking the goals. I think you might like the house special as well. That's on offer from
What do we got?
Tottenham to score in each half, plus 140. Yay or nay?
Yeah, well, I'm going on the goal angle, so we've got to get involved. Yeah, we've got to get involved.
There's been 2 massive bets on the game. $50,000 on Tottenham to score in the first half, minus 147. $45,000 on Tottenham moneyline, plus 108. So good luck for those big bets there. And look, there's a few comments here. Ray's right. I do love Bodo. Maybe not quite the ultra. I'm not the ultra level who comes out with a big, giant yellow toothbrush that they have. But... Ray, I would love to see them get a result, no doubt about it. The Europa League semi-final, I expected them to actually beat Spurs, and I was really, really disappointed in them. That is why tonight I'm not as expectant, but I've sometimes been like this, and these guys have proved me wrong and produced a performance. So I'll tell you what, Spurs have got to be on it, otherwise Glimt can get on top of them, but they know what it's like up here. If you've never been here before, it's a lot different. So... that is definitely a big advantage for Spurs. They know what they're coming into here. I think there'll be goals, Nigel, in terms of match result. I'm not going to get involved with the match result. Okay, let's have a look at some other fixtures. Just a couple more to get through today. Inter against Slavia Prague. I'm a bit annoyed, actually, here, Nigel, about this game because I do quite like Inter. But we're knocking on the door of a -2 Asian handicap favourite now, which is... I say disappointing. If this had been sort of -1.25, even -1.5, I may well have got involved quite heavily. Slavia Prague are not bad, but there is a big difference between Serie A and the Czech league. And Inter coming off probably one of the most convincing performances of the season against Cagliari at the weekend. I don't think there's any doubt they're going to win the game, is there? But it's just this handicap is really, really frustrating.
Very low price. Obviously got to the final last season. The jury was a little bit out of them at the start of the season. New manager thought to himself, are they going to be a team are they going to be able to bounce back? Are they going to be a side that are going to set back? But I've been quite impressed with what I see from this year. I think they're a side that if you follow our rating system on Betting Weekly Insider every week, which you can subscribe for free at bettingweeklystudios.com, They've been moving up a little bit on the ratings in recent weeks. I've been quietly impressed with what I've seen for them. They were very, very professional in their last match in the Champions League, going away and winning 2-0 in a very, very easy win over in Ajax. I know we touched about how poor Ajax were, but it was a very good performance from Inter Milan. A very, very good win against Cagliari. A winnable match at the weekend at home to Cremonese, so it's not like a big match at the top of the table. And I think they can go here and just completely be in control of this match. I like Inter to win. Minus 337, minus 375 now. It's a very, very low price, but plus 114 on Inter to win to nil. I like that. So it's a big jump. Minus 375 on the money line, plus 114 to win to nil. I quite like Inter to win to nil at plus 114.
And that is exactly what they did in match day 1 against Ajax. And I said it before, I think this manager is just starting to get the defensive metrics the way he wants them to down. Christian Kivu, again, win to nil against Cagliari at the weekend. Slavia Prague, I do agree with some in chat here. I think they are a bit underrated. They're not a bad side, but it's a really tough game for them in the San Siro, of course. In terms of the handicaps, I can't get involved. Minus 1.75 or minus 2. If they won by 1 goal, I'd be so angry with myself. Equally,
you can see that, though, can't you? You can see Inter Milan winning this 1-0.
Yeah, you can.
Surprise you. So
that's the thing.
That's why I think the win to nil bet at plus 114 from the jump is such a big price. I mean, Slavia obviously scored a couple of goals in their last match, didn't they, against Bodo Glimt in that match? But this is Inter Milan at home. I think Inter should easily control this match and win it easy.
Yeah, Peter, I will have some thoughts on Valencia game right at the end of the show. But yeah, well, betting splits for the game wasn't as high on Inter Milan as I thought, as it was going to be here. 96% of the money and 96% of the tickets. I actually thought it'd be higher than that. Just 61% of the money on the over, which suggests that there's reasonable under money for this fixture. The goal line's at 3.5, near enough. 3.5, yeah, is under 3.5 at minus 141. That's a pretty high line. Nigel, I mean, that's a good price, actually. Plus 114 win to nil. I think that's a fair call, Nigel, to be fair. You definitely want to get that 1-0 on your side. Don't you?
I wouldn't be betting them at mine. And the money line seems very, very short. And the fact that, and that obviously because it's a very heavy money line, that's why you got 1.75 on the Asian handicap. But a 1-0 Inter Milan win is the kind of result that you would expect. So to get them to win to nil, to me, just seems a logical play at plus 114.
You've got 2 more matches to discuss. Atletico Madrid, Eintracht Frankfurt. Both teams coming into the game off on the back of 2 incredibly high-scoring fixtures. A 6-4 win for Eintracht Frankfurt from 6-0 up against Gladbach, and Atletico Madrid 5, Real Madrid 2. Who on earth saw that one coming? So, both matches have gone over 6.5 goals at the weekend. So immediately everyone is going to be clamoring on the overs here, right, Nigel? Is that the bet or not?
Well, usually when you've got so many goals in crazy kind of football matches, my first reaction is always to go against it. So I would always look at the game and think, well, hang on a minute, it's going to go back to the norm. You can't be betting the high goal lines. But these 2 sides, especially Eintracht Frankfurt, they're wild. I mean, every single match this season in Eintracht Frankfurt matches have seen over 3.5 goals cash. And a lot of them, all barring 2, I think, have seen over 4.5 goals cash. I mean, it's crazy. Both teams have scored. Yes, has been in every single one of the matches, including in the Champions League and in the domestic league. There's goals, 10 goals in their last match, 7 goals the match before, 6 goals against Galatasaray. Atletico Madrid have always been a side that everyone has this impression of Simeone being quite negative, and they're a quite negative side and don't give up many chances. That was the Atletico Madrid of 4 or 5 years ago. The 3-2 match against Liverpool was a crazy match. 5-2 at the weekend against Real Madrid. 3-2 against Real Vallecano. Their last 4 matches have seen both teams have scored. Every match this season, barring 1 against Villarreal, both teams have scored. Yes. So goal. I mean, every part of me was looking for a way to try to go against the goal angle, but I can't. I just think that this is crazy. You talk about 6 goals that Eintracht Frankfurt scored at the weekend. There was 6. They scored 6 goals inside 45 minutes, 47 minutes. 6 goals in 47 minutes, and they didn't score again, conceded 4. I mean, that's just incredible. Eintracht Frankfurt have been the side, an attacking side for many, many years. They've always been an overside. They've always been an entertaining side. And this Atletico Madrid side is a side that are changing the way they play in the last couple of years. I love the bet here. My best bet of the whole night, over 2.5 goals and both teams to score, yes. If you parlay them up, it's minus 110. I think that's
big, actually, isn't it? When you got a goal line at 3.5.
Oh, it's a great price.
That's a really big price, actually, Nigel. Cricket might be liking that a bit as well.
Cricket, as long as cricket likes it, that's all right. Where you gone, Steve? Cricket's hit the mute button, mate.
I know, she's hit the mute button. She's causing issues.
She's saying, stop talking rubbish, Dad. Get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing, if you'd said to me a few years ago, you'll get over 3.5 goal line in an Atletico Madrid game against Bundesliga opposition, I'd be saying, what is going on? But times have changed. You've got to move with the times, haven't you? They're a side that have become this, certainly in Europe, more wild and open. And Dino, top Moller at Frankfurt. I've said about this manager before. I love it. I love the way that he goes about his business. I mean, that match of the weekend's crazy. To be 6-0, look like you said after 50 minutes.
But just look at all their results this year.
Yeah.
Not just that, that's not like a strange result, so a crazy match. Every match has been 5-1 in the first Champions League match. Galatasaray 5-1. I mean, it's just wild. Eintracht Frankfurt games this season have been absolutely insane. And if you look at the amount of chances they concede, or they give up and they create, it's pretty much what we expect. It's not like it's like a 10-goal thriller and thinking, it should have only been 7. It was a 10-goal thriller on the stats as well.
Are Frankfurt a big price here? Plus 575. There's a few in comments saying that Frankfurt could be a bet here on draw no bet or double chance. To be fair, I mean, I wouldn't back Atletico at minus 240, but I would certainly admit they're the most likely winner still.
They play Bayern Munich at home, Steve, at the weekend next weekend, and I always, it's one of anyone who watches the shows that I do here. I always think the game at the weekend will play a part in the minds of the players. Probably not really so much for Eintracht Frankfurt because their realistic chances of winning the Bundesliga are not very strong. But I do think, if they were playing a mid-table bottom side, then yeah, I suppose so. But I think I always like to bet teams that have a winnable match. I mean, that's why I like Inter Milan to win 2-0 because they have a fairly winnable match at the weekend at home. Liverpool, Chelsea, the Eintracht Frankfurt, Bayern Munich, I think that plays on their mind at some stage of the game.
Dave J11 says, Nigel, do you think this is a game to ladder goal totals? Is that ladder fixed and mended now, Nigel, and coming out again here?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's got to, innit? It's got to, innit? It's got to. I mean, you got to go over 3.5. So if over 3.5 is minus money, I mean, over 3.5 here is, what is over 3.5? So over 3.5 is minus 127, and then we go to over 4.5 at plus 240. It's a big jump. When you look at over 3.5 matches, they don't usually just go for, if they're going to go over 3.5, they usually go big over 3.5. So yeah, I think over 3.5, over 4.5, over 5.5 is 525. Yeah, I would be laddering it. But every time I've brought the ladder out, I'm afraid the ladder has come crashing down and I've fallen on my bum and struggled. So my ladder days are not very good, but I would think this is a ladder for you. Yeah.
We did win on the Mbappe ladder last time. Tristan Wiggle says, "What's the price on 0-0?"
But he's laughing. He's just because we've done ho of the prices, and he's trying to be sarcastic. Tristan,
15-1.
You can have that. Tristan, you can have that with me, mate. You can message me after the show. You want a tenner? You can have tenner with me.
And over 6.5 goals is 12-1. I know what I'd rather.
Why not? What, are we going to bet? So you think this? So 0-0 over 6.5 goals, the same price. You'd be going over 6.5.
I would rather take over 6.5 goals at 12-1 than 0-0 at 15-1.
But I'm a 0-0 better and under's better. To bet the same price 6.5 as a 0-0, just like I know you're right, but I just think it's I can't do that.
I knew it would be that would be possibly a step too far for you. But Christo Forrest says he's scared Atletico wins 2-0. Let's hope we don't get that under come on the board. One more Champions League game to discuss. Pafos against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are a big favourite here. I've got to be honest, Nigel, this was not a match I gave that much attention to today because I hate these sort of games where there's a massive favourite and Bayern are very capable of racking up a massive win if they wanted to, but they equally can be very happy with 2 or 3-0.
Yeah, and I just think that Pafos obviously made their debut in the Champions League last time out, and Olympiacos was such a big match for them. The 0-0 draw, it was a feisty affair as we expected. I think that for them not to lose that match, I think they used a lot of effort in that. The Cypriot League is a league that really, I wouldn't know how strong or how weak they are, but I think they were going to eventually be found out in this caliber of opposition. And the one thing I do think is I think that Bayern Munich are a bit of an underrated side on the Champions League outright market. I think Bayern Munich are scoring goals for fun. They are putting people to bed fairly comfortably. A lot of their form was obviously done at home when they beat Chelsea last time out 3-1. But of all the matches today, on those odds, you've got to play a very, very high line on the handicap. You've got to play a lot high on the Asian. You've got to play a high number on the total. It's whether you think that Pafos can compete, basically keep Bayern Munich out, which I'm not quite sure if they will do. Harry Kane, to me, looks a nice play to score at any time. Obviously penalties, and he's going for the top goal scorer in this competition as he's prolific in these kind of matches. And that would be my angle in, but minus 9-10 for Bayern Munich to win this match. No, I couldn't bet that. But Harry Kane to score any time, the price of Harry Kane to score any time is minus 186. But boost it up. Harry Kane to score any time and Bayern Munich to win possibly.
Yeah, quite a lot of love for Pafos in chat, actually.
Really?
Owned by a Russian billionaire. I mean, Dan Roebuck's your man to talk about Pafos. He knows everything about this club. He watches all their games. Religious fan of them. But it's a step. It's to play Bayern.
This is massive. Cool. Yeah. So to start off the Champions League against the Greek side was like that was incredible. And to go over there and get the 0-0 draw, they would have celebrated that as though they won the Champions League, and now they've got to play Bayern Munich. I think this is a very, very difficult ask.
99% of the money and 99% of the tickets are on Bayern Munich for the game. Just a couple of big bets I forgot to mention, actually, from the Atletico Madrid game against Eintracht Frankfurt. $41,000 on Eintracht Frankfurt plus 1.5 Asian handicap at minus 137. And a bet which I've just been told about, $1,000 has actually just been placed on over 6.5 goals in that match. Atletico Madrid against Eintracht Frankfurt. I kid you not.
I thought you were going to say 0-0. I thought it was going to say 0-0.
$1,000 has been placed on it. So, yeah, it's let's hope it cashes. That's what I'll say now. There is one fixture I just want to talk about briefly. It was on the cards yesterday. It got postponed back to today. It's Valencia, Real Oviedo in the La Liga. Now, my best bet of the day yesterday was going to be on Valencia on the handicap. Someone was asking me that question earlier. It was going to be that, but I always get a little bit spooked when these sort of things happen, Nigel, when a game gets put back a day. It completely changed everything with PSG Marseille when it happened recently. So I would still lean towards Valencia. And as I mentioned on the Euro show last week, I like the corners as well. Yes, I'm going back in on the corners market. It didn't work out for me yesterday, but I think Valencia corners over 6.5. Again, I just sheerly think it'll be territorial domination from them. They usually take quite a long time to break down a team and score. But if you do get an early goal for Valencia, then the corners is in trouble. But I can't remember who was asking me earlier. It might have been Peter Chalkins, actually. I do agree with that bet of yours on the handicap for Valencia minus 0.75. The Real Oviedo are just, they're a newly promoted team who, when they face someone decent away from home, I think they will generally struggle overall. Where is the lamb likes Oviedo plus half a goal? Weird things can happen when matches get delayed by like one day and stuff like that. But so I would tread a little bit more carefully than normal. Okay, Nigel, best bets today for you from the Champions League.
I'm going to go with obviously over 2.5 and both teams to score yes in the Eintracht Frankfurt match. I like Inter Milan to win to 0. I also like Tottenham over 2.5 goals and both teams to score yes.
Yeah, for me, the best bet is that over 3.25 in Liverpool, travelling to Galatasaray. I had that into winter now. I've got to agree with you. I think that's a great looking bet as well. But for me, Benfica +1 on the Asian line.
I like the under in that one as well. You know,
Yeah.
I do like the Mourinho factor to come in. You know, legend of the club. I think the Chelsea taking on Chelsea at its vulnerable time. I do like the unders there as well.
And you know, third best bet for me would be over 3 Asian in the early game, Atalanta Club Brugge. But again, Atletico Madrid and Frankfurt couldn't buff anyone taking over goals in that either whatsoever. Best of luck whatever you are taking today. Let's cash some winners. Thanks, Nigel, as always. Great Champions League show. And we'll be back tomorrow with Will White will be on the show for more Betting Weekly live action. Before we go, anyone new coming in, do sign up to the newsletter. I nearly forgot about it. But if we've got anyone new in chat, then please do sign up. I'll put the link in chat. We
had a winner today. We had a winner today on the tennis on there. So a nice winner today, exclusive winner. Lease at -104. Nice winner on there as well.
Very good.
Hopefully you can cash some tickets.
Yeah, I've got a double actually for the newsletter this week on the Mondays one, and the Insider will come out on Friday, of course. Anyone new in chat, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. And we need those likes. Do like this video. We want to continue making some great content, and we need your help with the likes and the subscribers. Let's get them up to as much as possible. So thanks everyone again. Gamble responsibly. I'll see you tomorrow on Betting Weekly Live with Will White. But for me, it's goodbye from me and Nigel. Take care.